Welcome back to another episode of Unlearned and Reborn, a podcast where old habits are unlearned and new ones are reborn. The first thing that I understood or had to learn about forgiveness when it came to my dad and our relationship is that once I decided to forgive him and really meant it, I also had to mourn the loss of time. I'm smiling because I'm feeling good. It's leg day today for my gym people. Like, you know how you feel on leg day. You just be like, I could run through a brick wall right now. I'm ready. Yes. And that's how I feel. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. Thank you for coming back. How y'all feel today? Y'all doing all right? So I want to jump into today's episode. This is a good one, and it might even have to have a part 2. Like, yeah, it's that good. So today's episode is about the path to forgiveness. Skirt, pump the brakes. Forgiveness? But did you know what he did? Do you know what she did? I'm not forgiving them, period. Trust me, I got something for you. You might just give it some time. Forgiveness, the big F. Oh my gosh. This is a word that I hated. I really did hate. And even now, I'm definitely better with forgiveness, but I still have some work to do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect, but I'm definitely a lot better than I used to be. So I remember growing up, and I think the first episode I mentioned my relationship with my father, and a girl needs her dad. Let's just start there. Little girls need their dads just as much as little boys need their moms. That was a groundbreaking discovery for me on why I could not forgive people, because I had not forgiven one of the biggest heartbreaks that I've ever experienced. And I remember a conversation me and my dad had before, I was really like, okay, I would really like to, give this a chance. And I'm pretty sure I was at a gas station. Yes, I was at Friendly Express gas station. And I just felt the urge, okay, you need to just call him. Because, y'all, I had, unfriended my dad off socials. I had his number, but I'm pretty sure he was blocked. I did not want to talk to him at all. In the first episode, I mentioned my parents divorced, I think around 3 years old. I just could not understand, Dad, I'm supposed to be your daughter. Where you at? School dances, where you at? Events, where you at? My dad came to my graduation, high school graduation, and my military graduation, but it's so much growth happened in between. I don't want you to be here for my good moments. I want you to see me there when I got my first heartbreak, in a relationship. I want you to be there, when I was trying to pick out a prom dress, just dads, PSA to dads. Even if you don't think it makes an impact on your daughters, girls look forward to those moments. Yes, they do. And you're also shaping her into what she should look for in a man. Yes, you are. So when you don't show up for her, you are teaching your daughter that is acceptable behavior to allow a man to do that to her. That's why you see, some women that you're like, you are so gorgeous, you are beautiful, and you are letting this man run up and down the street with you. That's because they don't really have the ability to separate. It's the attachment. Yes, when my dad was not there growing up, I created this unrealistic attachment to people, boys and girls. It didn't really matter. It's just I want to keep you close to my heart, and I need you here. You cannot leave me, because if you leave me, I'm not going to be functional. I remember I called my dad, and, we talked, and I just told him, I was like, Dad, I'm really not a big fan of yours. I'm not. I was like, there's a lot of stuff that I just really don't understand. About my upbringing. I kind of felt like you were there enough to see me. Okay, I know she's not, somewhere, doing crazy stuff. I can see on Facebook that, she's progressing, she's doing great. And I was just like, I wanted you to be there. What happened? And we talked, and, even after then, I know y'all will be like, oh, y'all had the best relationship after that. No, I'm pretty sure, I blocked my dad again after that. And then, but it's now, I don't know what ended up happening that brought us back to how we are now. But now, I FaceTime my dad, and I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? I had just got on him the other day because he had posted on Facebook about his new truck, his new work truck. And I was like, I texted him Dad, why I had to find out that you got a new truck on Facebook. Like, I wanted to be like, congratulations, Dad, it's nice. And he just cracked up. I'm always getting on my dad, like, about stuff that, like, now. And it's like the key to forgiveness, right? Y'all know me. I like to break it down into steps, but I don't even know how many steps I'm gonna break it down. We just gonna go with the flow today. The first thing that I understood or had to learn about forgiveness when it came to my dad and our relationship is that once I decided to forgive him and really meant it, I also had to mourn the loss of time. I had to realize that at 20, I'll probably say about 26. No, maybe I was 25 at the time. I don't remember. I know it's more recent, like within the last year that I really like, maybe even this year that I really like started talking to my dad on a consistent basis. I had to tell the little girl in me, like, we're not going to get that time back. And it's like, ooh, that was hard because, that's the first thing I wanted to do. Okay, now I want us to be able to go to dinners together. I want us to be able to, go shop together. I want us to be able to, hang out and spend time together. And it's like, I had to understand that at 26, and my dad is 61 or 62. I can't remember. But I had to realize, like, those years that he was not there, I cannot get those years back. So that was even its own process of like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like, they don't tell you about the part that when you forgive somebody, that time that you spent being angry, that stings you too. Cause y'all, I'm not talking about no 30 days, no years, y'all, where I was so angry with my dad. I just wanted to just shake him like, Dad, like, what's up? Like, you don't want to see what I'm doing? You don't want to, you don't want to congratulate, you don't want to be here? Like, what's going on? It was such a freeing process. Once I said, little Shania, you gonna be all right. And it's okay that, he missed, the dinners. It's okay he missed the father-daughter dance. It's okay. We gonna be all right. And it was a freeing experience, and it was also a validating experience because I was able to say, I know you got scratch right here. That's okay. You don't have to walk around so everybody can see your scratch. It's okay to put a Band-Aid on it and let it heal. And then, you know how sometimes, something happens and the Band-Aid gets ripped off. It's almost like the healing process got to keep starting over and over and over again. And I realized I was ripping the Band-Aid off every time that I was like, okay, but he wasn't here for that. He wasn't. That's right. He wasn't. But when you decided to forgive him, you said, to hell with that. I want from 25 or 26, however old I was at the time, and on. I want the rest of life with you. Like, I want to really be there for you. Like, I want to be in your world. Ooh, I'm getting a little emotional. So that was the first step, realizing that forgiveness equals mourning the loss of time. So once I was able to get that, okay, cool. Second step, once I said, okay, I'm going to forgive him, I had to forgive him, the person, the actual individual, my dad. I had to forgive him for being human. And I don't fully know the ins and outs. We talked a little bit and touched on a little bit, but I can honestly say, y'all, that's my left hand, right hand to God. I don't even care. I don't even care. And I know maybe, a lot of people won't be there. They want all the answers. No, you finna tell me why you left me and my mom. I do not care. I don't care, because at the end of the day, whatever he tells me, to me, that's not going to make up for the lost time. It can't. Like, there's just nothing like, oh, well, I had a job and, I had other kids. Like, the little girl me is still going to say, okay, Ann, like, I didn't ask to be here. You and my mom, decided, okay, we want to have a baby, and y'all brought me here, and y'all couldn't reconcile y'all differences. So y'all split, and I'm left with what? So it's like, I didn't even care. That's how I knew I truly forgave him, y'all. Once I forgave him, I didn't even care. I'm like, Dad, like, what's up? Like that, like, I miss you. I love you. What you doing for your birthday? Like, I just want to be there. Life is so short. Like, life is so short. Like, bruh, life is so short for me to be holding on. And again, I'm not unvalidating the experience. Once we still talked about the first step, validating that, yes, I'm never going to get that time back. But that's also beautiful because it's like, I don't have to carry around that hurt anymore. I can now create brand new memories. Brand new. It's like I'm meeting my dad for the first time. It's so beautiful. I love it. Like, I forgave him. I started to think like, okay, my dad, he's a human too. He was young. My mom was young. Like, I was angry even with the both of them with the divorce, because I'm just like, I feel like y'all couldn't have worked it out at all. Like, and at the time, of course, there was all these movies with people's parents together, Parent Trap. I was plotting like, oh, I'm a parent trap my parents. I'm gonna get them back together. But it's like I was really, really upset with the both of them for that. But I even had to even forgive my mom. Like, I was a baby. I don't know what the ins and outs were. And again, I do not care to know. That's in the past. That's y'all's business. I just want to have my mom in my life, and I want to have my dad in my life. It sucks that I have to have this separate, this split in between the two of y'all, but I'm grateful for my parents. I love them. I would not replace them for the world. Like, shout out to them. And number 3, enjoy the new chapter. Forgiveness was never for them. It was always for you. Forgiveness is for you. I let myself be free. I let myself unlock and be open. I said, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, my dad doesn't come through. Okay, well, guess what? As hard as it is, I've already experienced that and I got through it. So, next, gifting myself that chance, to open my heart to say, you know what? My dad is a great guy. He's a great man, and I want to get to know him. And if it doesn't work out, it's just that. Facts. It doesn't work out. That's it. It doesn't make me any less of a person. It doesn't make him any less of a person. I know I'm trying. So if he doesn't put his effort in, then there's really nothing else I could do. Like, those 3 things, like, y'all, that thing had like freed my mind. I'm telling y'all, because unforgiveness, if you are not careful, that thing will sit on your heart and it will make you a bitter person. Not only will it make you a bitter person, y'all, that thing will start to affect other aspects of your life, your health. It will start affecting your other relationships. Nobody wants to be around you because you're so rude and you're spewing out hate. Forgiveness is a process. It is a consistent process. Because even after I forgave my dad, okay, cool, I would have to forgive somebody else, 2-3 days later, maybe even hours later. Forgiving friends, forgiving family members, forgiving my spouse. Just forgiveness doesn't stop. But what you can do is get better at it. You can get so good at forgiveness, y'all, that stuff just starts rolling off your back. Stuff that would normally make you want to, what would I say? TMZ gonna hear about it? Yeah. Stuff like that. Where you like, just drop your location. Drop your location. And if you don't drop your location, I will find you by midnight, because I'm about to drag you from the north to the east. That is what I used to do. That's how I used to feel about forgiving people. Like, you wrong me, like, girl, I want to really beat you down. I want to hurt you like you hurt me. And I get it. That's normal. That's a normal response. When you get hurt, you like, I'm on attack mode and I'm shutting down, protecting myself, because I do not want to get burned again. Those are all normal feelings. But what's not normal is you holding on to something for years at a time and expecting, your new relationships that come along to be able to flourish. Some stuff is rooted, y'all. Some pains, especially when you have childhood trauma, that stuff takes root into your soul, deeper than the heart. And you can't really get past that. And you wonder why, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't never keep, a relationship. Sometimes especially when we have the childhood trauma, like, I said, me not having the best relationship with my dad, that thing will, because you're a child and children don't really understand emotions just yet, they are very reactive. When you are a child, you are very reactive. It's not until adult that you learn, or you should be learning, because some people don't even know at adulthood, but you have like the intelligence level to actually be able to understand the emotions, that you can now say, okay, I'm angry because this. When you are a child, it's just like, a child, you tell them no, it's the end of the world. My boys do this all the time. No, or no, mama. And it's like, children are amazing at matching emotions, matching energy. You fuss at them, they're going to fuss back. You hit them, they going to hit somebody else. Like, they are very good at that. So it's like, imagine a child, me a child, and I get neglected. I am going to run away from anybody and anything that makes me feel that. For sure, no questions asked. I'm going to run away, because what you're not going to do is make me feel that feeling again. And when you are a child, you are a sponge. Y'all, you soak up so much. If we could take a poll of why people, you ever met somebody that's just so angry at life? I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they have experienced something in that childhood stage that has made their heart so hard. And y'all, I didn't, thank God, like, my heart wasn't hard, but inside, the soul aspect, I would say I would forgive people, but it was temporary, or it was only surface level. Okay, I'll forgive you, so we can hang out again, or we can go to the movies, but girl, I will never give you my trust again. And that, I feel like that's where a lot of people are in that stage of forgiveness. I say I forgave you, but my heart is so cold towards you. And some things that we have gone through, me included, y'all, these people do not deserve an ounce of forgiveness. What? Let's go ahead and validate that. I get it. These people don't deserve what? Because why would you do that? Why would you leave me like that? Why would you violate my body in that way? All the many aspect of ways that people wrong us. But you know what happens when we don't forgive them? Y'all don't know? Y'all want me to tell y'all? They're going to go on about their day. Yeah, they're going to go on about their day. These people are not worried about us, y'all. Like, as harsh as it was to see, my dad was still doing his thing. He was still going on fishing trips. He was still camping. My dad was still, from what I could see, of course, we never know the inside because they could be struggling too. For me, that was one of the reasons why I just had to unfollow him on socials, because I was like, I cannot see you smile. And I know I'm so broken and hurt inside. It was burning me inside. So I said, okay, I have to get this thing off of me because, y'all, it felt like it was such a weight. Truth be told, a girl that gets married and she has daddy issues and she has not forgiven her father, it's only so much that woman is able to give to her spouse because, you're not about to hurt me. No. So, yeah, we may be able to be intimate and, I may be able to, have somewhat deep conversation with you. But as far as you getting deep within my heart, no, I'm not allowing it. My husband had ended up telling me, babe, I can tell that thing really hurts you. He was like, because, you don't let me in. And I used to be like, yes, I do. I do be letting you in. No, you're not. It's surface level. And the moment the person tries to get a little deeper, you no, you pull your hand away. No, forgive, y'all. Forgive. Start the process today. Start it after listening to this episode. Start it. I'm telling you, forgiveness is so freeing. It has to be done. Because you will mess around and live an unfulfilled life because you have so much unforgiveness in your heart. I forgave for me, absolutely. But guess what was also connected? My children, my spouse, my extended family, my friends, my job, my dreams. Me and my husband have 2 sons. I have to forgive him because I'm raising up boys to be men. If I don't forgive them, if I don't forgive my father, I am going to be, whether unknowing or knowing, spewing hate out of my mouth onto those boys. And I'm going to teach them to grow up, then do the same thing I experienced to their children. Nah, girl, it's not that deep. I'm telling you, yes. When you are not healed in your heart and you have children, you will pass that thing on to them. Especially if you're fearful of being hurt. You'll be overprotective of your children. And it's sometimes, there are people in the family where you kind of side eye, no, you will not be staying the night over there. I get that. But I'm talking about parenting from that place of fear and unforgiveness. That thing will have you just so wrapped up, y'all. You cannot enjoy life that way. You cannot. So if I don't tell y'all nothing else, baby, we gonna work on some forgiveness. We gonna learn to forgive people. And sometimes you might not be able to do what I did with my dad. You might not be able to forgive them and let them back in. Forgiveness does not mean access. It doesn't. Forgiveness means just that, forgiveness. Forgiving their less. That's all that is. If you are able to open the door back to that person, great. But even with that, boundaries have to be set. I believe when I first started talking back to my dad, I was like, okay, Dad, this is what I would like to do. I would like for us to talk every Sunday so we can talk about our week and, keep up with each other. Okay, I can do that. And we did it for, a couple weeks, but of course life happened and it switched from Sunday to just random, days during the week. He'll call or I'll call. And I knew that my dad was really putting the foot forward to make the change because there were times where he would call and y'all, my dad would not call. He would, but it would be so far in between. And it would typically be on birthdays and holidays and stuff like that. But I was okay, like it's a random Tuesday. And my dad is like, hey, Naya, what you doing? And I just remember how I felt like, okay. And I even had to get over the guilt of, dang, like I could have had this sooner. And it's like, don't even get caught up in that, over analyzing yourself and being mad at yourself because, once you forgave the person and say you do allow them back in your life and it's like, oh, wow, like this is amazing. And, you're like, dang, bro, like I really wish, we could have, he could have been, my date to prom, or he could have been my date to the father. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that's a cycle in itself. You're living in the past. Present is where we at. We're not even in the future. We're in the present right here now. Me and you. This is where we are, right here. And we cannot allow our past and our heartbreaks to allow us to relive them, because guess what? As you are reliving, that clock is still going. The big hand and the little hand is still making its way around, and around. Hours are passing. Hours turn into days. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And it's a lot of people that are stuck in that cycle, y'all, over stuff that has happened decades ago. I'm 26 now. That was at least a decade ago. Like just the long hamster wheel of unforgiveness, y'all. You got to get out of that wheel eventually. Even hamsters take a break. Come on now. Hamsters even get tired of doing their wheel exercises. If they get tired, aren't you? Aren't you ready to really allow yourself to be free? That's what I want for y'all to experience, because I'm telling you, it's a freeing experience, y'all. Like, I'm like, wow. Like I said, it's not always easy to do, but once you exercise that muscle, oh my gosh, you're going to be like, wow. It's a freeing experience when stuff that used to get under your skin, you don't even think twice about it. Okay, whatever. I'm telling you, I want y'all to get free today. I really do. I really do. You deserve it. You deserve it. So, I like to do takeaways, and I'm going to leave you with a few takeaways. Takeaway 1, remember your triggers and understand that when they arise, it doesn't always mean that you got to flee. It took some up and downs for, me and my dad's relationship to be more steady. And it's still not perfect, and that's okay. But say I call and he doesn't pick up. I remember the first times where that would happen. I mean, y'all, I was immediately like, oh, nope, you're not about to catch me, big dog. You're not about to get me. Because I know what this looked like. I call, you don't pick up, and now I'm sitting here, young Shania, waiting by the phone for you to call me back. At the beginning, that was one of my triggers. Like, dang, my dad don't care about me. Whoa, slow down. I had to really start telling my brain facts. Okay, he did not pick up. That is a fact. Okay. What you do not know, but you are assuming, you do not know what he was doing. You do not know if he was busy. You do not know if he was even by his phone to see your call. All you know right now, in this moment, after you hung up the phone because he didn't answer, is that he did not pick up the phone. And that's just going to have to be enough, until you can really turn that trigger into a triumph. And now, if I call my dad and he don't pick up, I'm not bothered by it. There's times, guess what? There's times where my dad calls me and I don't pick up. I might be recording a podcast. I might be at the gym. I understand now because I'm looking out of eyes of triumph and not trigger and trauma that people also have lives. I used to walk around like, oh my gosh, don't nobody want to be, I'll be calling, I'll be reaching out, listen. I'm trying to help you. People have lives. Everything is not about you. Life is happening to other people as well. Just as it's happening to you, just as your heart is getting broken, just as you are like, heck no, ain't no way I can forget that person. Someone else on this planet is feeling the exact same way. It's not just you. So don't be so quick to judge a situation. Give it time. Another takeaway that I would say, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is that forgiveness does not mean access. Just because you forgive somebody, that does not mean that they automatically get a key card to your life again. No, some people are going to have to get a code that you buzz in, at the old school apartments, buzz in. Some people need that access first. You cannot give everybody the key card to your life. That is why you continue to experience the same thing. Just because they say they change don't mean they change. You're going to have to prove. And that's the third thing. Notice the patterns. You're going to have to allow people to prove that they are serious, especially when it comes to relationships. Women, we are too often to let that boy back in our lives, and he probably not about the right. You need to let him prove himself. But proving, it has to be a balance, because sometimes women, we expect him to jump through the hoop, crawl under, get the key, crawl under again, jump back through the hoop, do a cartwheel, do the Dougie, and then be like, okay, oh girl, I'm ready for you now. Like, no, it has to be a balance. Once you forgive, it's here, right? The left, you have already forgiven them and you meant it. So the left is now starting to travel to the right, steadily. You have to look at that pattern from left getting all the way over to the right and see, okay, in that time span, put a time on it. If you say, okay, he was unfaithful and you took him back, okay, bet. We need to make a 6-month timeline. Okay, what are we doing here? You tell me what it is that you're wanting to get done. Are you wanting to actually get married? Or are you just wanting a bed buddy? Because if you want a bed buddy, then you know that the 6 months is off the table. You change your code to your door and you take your key card. Or they shouldn't even have a key card. How about that? You have to understand that some people, they cannot come back in your life if you talk about you want to change. They might not be able to come back in your life if they're still in that lifestyle and you're trying to change. You got to be more realistic with yourself. You have to be able to really say, okay, listen, this does not work for me anymore, so I have to cut off their access. The flip side is that everybody doesn't have to get cut off. Decide who you give chances to. The Hallmark movies love to tell us about, everybody's worth a second chances. I try my best to give people a second chance. But when we on our third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chance for the same offense, we're not talking about, this person is just struggling. And, friendships have their up and downs. Relationships have their up and downs. We're not talking about regular stuff. We're talking about the same offense, this constant cheating. 6, 7 times? Okay, let him back in if you want to. But listen, I'm not coming over. I don't want access in your life because I see the type of access that you allow in your life. And baby, I don't want that rubbing off on me. I really, really, really think that balance is a lot of our problems. If we could just balance ourselves, a lot of this stuff would be few, far, and in between. So, can y'all do that for me? Can y'all forgive somebody this week? You don't have to start high. You can start super, super, super low. Like the person that cut you off this morning. That's okay. We're going to forgive them today, and we're not going to give them the bird. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. This was great. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this podcast, this episode. And I need y'all to do something for me before you leave. I need y'all, if you're watching on the red app called YouTube, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because I got on y'all last week and some of y'all are still not subscribed to the channel and I'm gonna get y'all. And if you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, baby, please follow the show. Why would you not want to follow the show? Turn your notification bells on YouTube so you can know when an episode is posted. And if you click follow the show, then you can set your phone for automatic downloads. So it can automatically already be on your phone when it drops. Don't y'all love when stuff is there and you don't have to go looking? Okay, well, show the pod some love. I love y'all. Y'all love me. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.